today marks the 6th show of your tour with Mark. Is there anything that you've learned in the short time that you'll take with you on future tours?
Wow. I think with this kind of being the beginning of the tour, I feel like, we've just been all bonding and having a good time. So I don't know if there's anything necessarily that I would take away from it yet, but I think just that I've made such great friends in the first, few shows, and I'm so happy to be a part of this, so.
We did get to speak with you back in July about your album. Is there a song that you were nervous to release, and how do you feel about it now?
There are a lot of songs on that album that I was super, super afraid to release. Anatomy obviously being one of them, but that was the single that came out a while ago. But I think on the album, I think it would be 6 Feet Under. I wrote that, my ex-boyfriend and I were on a break for like 2 weeks, and we got back together afterwards, but I wrote that in the when we were on a break, and so I was nervous for him to hear it. And of course, know the timeline.
You have a close relationship with your fans, and you're finally getting to meet them as you're touring the country. How are you finding your relationship with your fans now that you can finally see them in person and it's not just like through a screen?
Meeting my fans in person just means so much to me. Of course, I get so much love and support on the internet, and I am very close with a lot of my fans. It is just a different experience meeting them face to face and really getting to know them as people. I'm just so grateful, and I think especially with this tour, everyone's been so kind and awesome.
You grew up under the spotlight from a very, very young age. Do you think it's a challenge to be as real and raw as you are with your lyrics when everyone seems to know you in a specific way, or were you relieved to let your fans see you in another light?
Well, I think for me, since I did grow up in the public eye, I've always been my most raw, authentic self, which is a good thing and a bad thing because, I had social media when I was 8 years old. And when you're 8 years old, you really have no filter. You really post whatever you want. And so it comes naturally to me. I'm an open book for the most part. And I think it's exciting that, I get to share my personal experiences with other people, just because I want people to get to know me on a different level, and also just, I'm not just some girl that was on a TV show and is doing all these cool things. I'm just as normal as most people. So I love when people get to know me on that certain level, I guess.
And now our last question is, when you were writing Biting Your Tongue, the album, we'll just go for the full album, did you have a favorite song, and has any of them grown to be your favorite now that it's been released for a few months?
Ooh. Well, I think, I have been working on Biting My Tongue for about 3 years now, and so my favorite song changed, every month. I would literally drill these songs into my head for years straight. And, one that was my favorite at first was 6 Feet Under. I think 6 Feet Under is such a raw, emotional, vulnerable song. But one that I've learned to love so much and has become my favorite is Casualty. I just think, it's such a pretty song, and the lyrics are so raw. And even, I think overall the song is just so raw with the instruments and the sounds. And so I think Casualty is my favorite.